All right, we're here today talking with Nick Palgrave, who has been an RMVR racer for how many years?
20 years.
20 years. Oh, I didn't realize it was that long.
I went through driver school in 2004.
Cool. Did you race somewhere else before?
I never did. No, that was my first time racing.
Really?
I've done some track days, first time racing.
What got you hooked? How did it happen?
Well, I always wanted to go racing. It was just finding the opportunity. And I had bought the 69 Alfa Romeo. It was a street car, but it actually qualified to run with RMVR at the time.
Sure.
So I remember watching the RMVR car running around the Denver Grand Prix.
Oh.
And talked to a few people and said, wow, man, maybe I can do this. So I came out, did driving school, and just ran a few races, 2004, 5, and 6 in the Alfa Romeo.
You know, I think all of us had that head slap moment where we said, why aren't I doing this? This looks like an absolute hoot. And then they figure out how to do it, what type of car they want to get involved with. And the rest is history. And what did you do? What did you do professionally? Are you still working? Are you still a working man?
I'm still working.
Yeah.
I work in sales. I sell diesel engine parts right now.
Really?
So like turbochargers and fuel injection, mostly for big trucks, like fire engines, school buses.
Interesting. Well, the car behind us here, we're going to talk about this car behind us because it's such an interesting car.
Yes.
It's a very unique design, very unique name. The car is called
It's called the Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
Yes.
All right, help us out. Where did that come from? Was there a Mr. Bandersnatch?
No, it's actually named after the untamable beast from Lewis Carroll's novel Through the Looking Glass. It was the Bandersnatch. And that's where Tip Chaffee, the guy that built the car in 1967, he finished it in 1968, and that's what he named it.
Is this pretty much as it was when it was built?
It's very similar now. So Tip actually built the car, raced it, late 60s, put it back in the barn, and then life got in the way. He went back to get it a number of years later, and his now ex-wife had sold the car.
Oops.
So the car was gone, and the car was missing for 43 years.
Oh, 40.
And anyway, he's looking, and he tracked it down and found it.
Oh my gosh.
And came and we bought it back, and then he came and it'd been chopped up and changed over the years. He came out and he raced with RMVR and went through driver school.
Wow.
In the car, but he was well into his 70s then, and it was getting a little bit much to go racing, so he let me have the car, and that was in 2019. And
you stumbled across it?
Well, I had helped him out at the track, and he just wanted somebody to race the car. It was such a unique one-off car, and he wanted somebody to race it.
Sure.
And I was keen to race the car.
Had it been in storage all those 40 years? Or do you know the story of those?
Well, somebody had bought it and they were going to race it at Salt Lake on the Salt Flats, and they had chopped up some of the pieces so they could fit in it. So it was a little bit different. But Tip had all the original drawings and everything. And during COVID, I was laid off from work, so I restored the car back to its original. Oh, so when it was originally done, it was with all the plexiglass, all on the front, on the sides, everything, the angle and everything was, the rear end.
It's pretty much back the way it was originally.
Yes, it is.
Although it's not original. It's recreated from drawings and everything else.
Yes, it is.
That's so cool. That's another aspect of the sport that people aren't familiar with, particularly vintage racing, is finding these cars, researching them, restoring them, finding out the history on them. It's a hoot, an absolute hoot.
Yeah. I mean, I had to redo a lot of the body panels, and every single body panel on here is no longer than 3 feet. Because when Tip built it originally, he only had a 3-foot brake.
3 foot. So could only buy 3 feet stock, 3-foot brake.
So I have a 3-foot brake and recreated everything his drawings.
That's great. And so you've had this car on track how long?
So I finished it 2020, and
oh, really?
So I've raced this car, all the RMVR events, also at Hallett, raced the car at Coda a couple of times, and also raced at Indy.
With SVR8, probably.
Yeah, with SVR8. In fact, I took the car to Indy in 2022 and raced there. And Tip, who built the car, came to see his car run at Indy. And I actually won the Sunday race. So he got to stand on the podium with me at Indy.
Oh, that's so cool. That's what it's all about.
50 years after he built the car, it's one of the most amazing things I'd ever done. Special moment, that.
I can appreciate that. I reunited a builder with a car he had built some years ago, and it was out in California, and he came to look at the car, and he brought a scrapbook that he had kept on the car back in the day. It was just amazing.
Wow.
And he was so glad to see it and share the experience.
So how many years later was it then? Was it?
I'm losing track of time. It was early 60s Formula Junior.
So we're talking probably 40 some years then.
But this was probably 10 or 15 years ago when
so
I owned that car for a brief period of time.
Wow.
He got to see it,
that's good.
everything. And then another car that I restored, I got to researching the history on it. And I located, it had a long string of owners, 15 owners. And I was able to get in touch with virtually every one of those prior owners and document that they had had it.
Wow.
And two of the owners eventually came through Denver when I was restoring it and sat in the car that they had raced back in the 70s. So that's half the fun of the sport, learning about the cars, their history, and so forth and so on. You said you'd raced at Coda, raced elsewhere in the country?
Yeah, Hallett, and I also raced Eagles Canyon, and at one time did the Texas Motor Speedway on the Roval.
Mostly the C-Bar stuff down in
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah.
Any tracks you'd like to get on? Name a track.
I'd like to go to Watkins Glen. It's a heck of a haul. But this car raced at Watkins Glen.
Sure.
I have some old photos of the car, and it had the text sticker from Watkins Glen in 1968 on the front.
Okay, well, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
So yeah, it would be nice to take the
Then
car.
on the way there, you can hit some other tracks. Mid-Ohio, something like Mid-Ohio is an interesting track. And while you're in that part of the country, you might as well bag another track.
There's quite a few. There's the Ozarks, a new one. That would be fun to do as well.
So the race is coming up this month, end of this month, the race against kids cancer. I assume you've been doing that for a number of years.
I have done all 14. This is 15.
All 14 going on 15.
Yeah, I love this event. It's always...
and that's what we decided to do here. It was the 15th anniversary. It was the 15th year we've been working with Morgan Adams. And we kind of wanted, instead of just cars and racing, we wanted to put some people faces with the event. And so you were one of the chosen few to be a featured driver for the weekend. And we'd invite people to come out the track, and you'll be there and come around, talk to Nick, and get his story on his racing career, as it were.
I'd love to chat with anybody.
Take a look at this amazingly unique car. It's amazingly unique. Never seen anything quite like it. Underneath, it meets all the specifications for a Formula Vee, but bodywork is free, I guess. There are no rules regarding bodywork, are there?
Well, if it's as it was, you cannot modify the bodywork and create an aerodynamic advantage.
Well, that's got to be an aerodynamic.
Well, that was how it was built. I guess when it was when it was originally built, it was wide open originally. As far as necessities, you have to have the Volkswagen engine and transaxle,
right?
And then the front beam is the Volkswagen.
Right.
It's got to be all the Volkswagen brakes, and you have to use the Volkswagen steering box.
Right.
So everything out of a Volkswagen Bug, and then you can just build your own chassis and your own suspension on the rear, however it is.
Well, nevertheless, this is pretty darn unique.
Yeah. I mean, this was actually way ahead of its time. It has a zero roll suspension.
Right. I've heard of that. I don't know what that means, but it's good.
So
it's a good thing,
when you go into the corner, the rear suspension stays completely flat. If you look at the rear suspension there, when you kind of lift up you see the car in the corner, the rear stays completely flat.
These stay upright.
So it's a simple parallelogram there that was designed, and it was one of the first cars to have the zero roll suspension back in '68.
Well, I imagine that's a bit of an advantage.
It is, yeah.
Handling wise.
There's a few of the V's, the Caldwells, the Caldwell D13s, they all have zero roll, and then pretty much all the modern V's do. But at the time, I think there was only two cars, the Shadowfax and this car, that had zero roll back in '68.
When you were giving us a tour of your house, you said that many years ago you were had a very interesting profession, actually.
Yes, I am well known for being a trapeze artist.
A trapeze artist.
Yeah, I was the catcher. I was the guy that hangs upside down on the other swing and catches the people. So
were you good? I'm sorry.
I'd like to think so.
The guy coming towards you likes to think so too.
I did a few hundred shows. I caught lots of double somersaults, and did the passing leap where two people pass and you let go of one and catch the other all at the same time. So
how in the world did you get involved in something like that?
I actually went to Club Med on vacation, and they had a circus program there. And
Oh, really?
I tried
Okay.
it, and I'm like, well, I want to do this. So
It's kind of like the epiphany when you see a race and you go, I'm going to do this.
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So I went and applied for a job, and they let me work there without paying me. Work for free, but I learned to catch.
Well, work for free at Club Med isn't the worst thing in the
No, it's
world.
not. You got the best food. I know it was great, but I learned to catch, and it took me a few days to learn to catch. I wasn't very good at first, but I was able to do it. And then they sent me to Mexico and the Bahamas and a few other places after that. And then I kept doing it as a hobby for, well, 30 years.
Wow. Do any of these days?
I did last year. I haven't this year. When you get in your 60s, it's a little bit harder, isn't it? I don't know that. Yes, stuff on the body, stuff on the shoulders.
Sure.
And everything.
I can't even imagine that with it.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme, to say the least.
Well, you're still in fine shape. The passion didn't wreck you.
No.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
In fact, it's probably a hell of a way to stay in shape.
Oh, it's absolutely the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when I was doing that, you didn't have to worry about what you ate. You could eat anything you want, and you'd be as skinny as anything.
So you were with Club Med for a bunch of years. How did you get into the diesel parts business?
Well, I mean, I was always fascinated by cars, and I worked in the photography industry for a while there, and but pretty much always in sales. And then I worked for Engine Performance Warehouse, and I've always been fascinated by cars. Love cars. Always wanted to go racing. When I was younger, I got married, we had kids, and that was the focus.
Sure.
And I was very happy with that.
Had to get a real job.
And so I actually worked for Engine Performance Warehouse for 10 years there.
Who?
Engine Performance
Oh, okay.
Warehouse. And they would sell all engine kits and all performance parts.
Oh, EPW.
Yeah. So Pete Christensen was a big customer.
Sure.
So
did you know him when you were at EPW?
I did.
Pete Christensen is our local engine builder who builds a lot of the Formula Ford engines. The EPW warehouse is now just a few blocks from my shop.
So I was there with them for 10 years, and thoroughly enjoyed that.
Always been car concentric. And where are you from? You got an accent. Where are you from?
Originally from England, from Yorkshire in the north of England. And
migrated to the States when?
Well, I started with the Club Med in 1989, and then got married and moved here in the early 90s. Okay. I guess it was actually right at the end of 1990 we moved here, and then I got my citizenship a couple of years ago.
Just a couple of years?
It used to be you had to give up the British citizenship, but now you can have dual. And so I guess if I ever wanted to go back, I have that option. But
nice to have options.
Sure. Okay. I don't think I would ever go back. I love living here.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So I think I asked you if there were any tracks you sort of had your eye on. If you had a chance, money with no object, maybe not to buy it, but to drive it, what car would you love to be able to say you were able to race?
I'd love to drive a vintage Formula One car. I'd love to drive.
Any particular era?
I don't know. I guess, you look at when I was a kid, I first was interested in racing, and you'd see the 6-wheel Tyrrell, the John Player Special Lotus. I think about all those cars, but
not necessarily the pre-war stuff, but the stuff in the 50s and 60s.
Well, then, I'm a big Alfa Romeo fan. I love some of the early Alfa Romeos.
Oh, Grand Prix cars. It would be an experience, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
You look at some of, particularly in the 40s and 50s, some of those cars, and you just think, oh my God. Of course, that's what they said the cars were little and the men were big, because they were beasts and out there hanging out in the open with no safety straps, no safety belts, better to be thrown free was their belief. And in fact, it was the case. You're better off to be thrown free. But driving those old cars must have been something else.
I can't imagine dangerous. He just came to the territory, didn't it? You just got to do it.
Well, we'll look forward to maybe getting in one of those cars someday and racing it at Watkins Glen. That'd be a doubleheader.
It would be. I mean, I'd love to go back and race. I never raced in England. It would be wonderful to go race Silverstone.
The motherland, Silverstone in particular. I was fortunate I was able to spectate one day during a race weekend at Silverstone. It was a race weekend with vintage cars, and there was a grid of, I don't know, 20 or 25 of the 13 Screamers, what were the F2 Screamers, with those little 4-bangers that just howled at 12,000 RPM or something like that. It was an amazing sound. Talk about a swarm of hornets.
I think if there was one event I'd like to do, would be the Goodwood Revival.
Sure.
and maybe in some 50s Ferrari or Alfa. That would
Do
be a
you, do
dream.
you have family? Do you visit back to England at all?
I do. Actually, my twin brother and I, we went to the Goodwood Festival of Speed, I guess about 8 years ago.
Oh,
And so we'd like to go to Revival. That's something we'd like to go.
I'm envious. That would really be a terrific trip.
That's something, when I retire, I'm definitely going to do that. Go back to England and spend a few days there at the Revival. Got to find a way to get in a car there. Hey?
Well, work at it. You might find some way. I mean,
You know anybody?
it's just applying yourself to the task and making it happen. Yeah. Cool. Well, listen, been nice to chat with you. Learn stuff that didn't know, all interesting stuff. See it in action and enjoy the weekend of the 15th annual Race Against Kids Cancer, supporting Morgan Adams Foundation.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that, and especially the Bid for Grid race, where everybody can bid for grid spot.
We have this fun race on Saturday, I guess it is, but in order to raise some money, you can place a bid and move a driver either up or back in the grid instead of their normal starting position. So you can, for a donation, you can move your favorite, the guy you usually race with, to the back of the pack, or somebody you really like, to move them up the grid for the start. So it winds up not only having a lot of fun, but people being in the wrong place in the grid, or not their usual place in the grid. And it makes for a very interesting race because things are all upside down.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, we've been doing that, I guess, Bid for Grid, maybe probably 4 or 5 years now.
I think so.
Last year, I guess I hadn't been going as fast, so I didn't end up at the back. But for the first 4 years, I was on the back row.
That's because people really do love you, actually. Bounce you to the back.
They did, yeah.
It's a great sport.
Yeah, no, that's a great race. You start back and then you can kind of work your way through.
Right.
Great fun.
Working your way through the pack, although you find out the middle of the pack is a crazy place. Back's kind of okay, front's okay, but that middle can just be mayhem. Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to it then.
Yes.
And we'll see where you wind up starting in the grid bid for kids. So you can bid to place people in different places on the grid, and all the money goes to the Morgan Adams.
It's a great way to raise money. It's just great fun.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Bob.
All right.